We're good. All right, so I think that Chris, you'd sort of laid out some stuff that we were going to talk about, trading your plans, strategies, emotions. And the nice thing is they all sort of tie in together. Um, so I'm sure that we'll be able to sort of transition from one to another. And then we can answer some of the questions that have come through also in the chat towards the end after we go through some of this stuff.
I'm just pulling up my tweet again because I fucking forgot already.
I haven't pulled on my phone. That's funny.
All right, that's good. That's a good topic.
Yeah, so trading your plan, I think is obviously a very important thing. One, because if you're trading somebody else's plan, you're always a step behind them. So on their entry, you're going to be behind them, and on their exit, you're going to be behind them. So finding something that works for you is the best thing that you can do in your trading career. I think mainly for that reason. If you're just following somebody else the whole time, you're always a step behind, and what other people do isn't always going to work for you. So there's nothing matter with modeling your trading strategy around someone, but having your own thoughts and process for finding tickers and exit and entry points is a really important part of being successful with your trading. I feel like, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. That's why I hate, but it's just a difficult question to answer when a lot of people ask you for your selling targets.
Yeah.
A, you don't want to be pumpy, or B, your selling target, depends if you're trading options or OTC, might be a lot less than what other people are looking for. Typically, I let them know where I'm at, and by letting them know by size too. You know, if I'm in something full size, I'm happy taking 20, 30% and letting everybody else bitch that people are trading shares within a range, because, you know, you take it like SPDL was a good example. I mean, that was trading in a 20 to 30 range for, I don't know, that was probably a good week plus. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, if you're buying 1 million, 2 million shares, 3 million shares at 21, and you're selling them at 27, 28, you know, you're making 6 times 2, so you're making $1,800 every round trip. You know, you do 3 round trips, you're making over $5,000 in a week just flipping that stock easily. I mean, that was an easily range trade. I mean, obviously they dropped bad news on it, but, and there's another one recently. What's another one that's trading in a 20 to 30 range right now?
Geeth.
Yeah, GETH, yeah. I mean, that's trading in a $20, $30 range, and a lot of people are getting upset and everything like that. But you know what? At the end of the day, that's what clears out a lot of these trades. It's when the trades get real crowded at the beginning. Is when people are fighting and jockeying to position. And typically, they'll either stall it or everybody will just start flipping out, and next thing you know, the ticker gets burnt unless you get good news or something.
Yep.
So, you know, flippers do help because they clear out the people who don't want to hold longer, or the people who just want to make a quick buck that day. They create volume doing so, so they hit scanners, they bring in new buyers at new levels, typically higher levels than where you bought. You know, there's a lot of positives to people flipping that people don't talk about, but you know, in the OTC, you know, in the big boards it doesn't matter because there's so much liquidity. We're nothing. But in the OTC, you know, doing that does have beneficial outcomes to it. So it's funny how it's taken it in a negative connotation.
Yeah, but I mean the tickers need volume to draw attention and add enough liquidity to be tradable. So I agree. Flippers are a necessity in the market.
Yeah, and I mean that's why a lot of guys have 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts because they're just wash trading it. They're putting $1 million on the ask, and everybody's getting scared, and then boom, you see $1 million ask, and you're like, wow, somebody just slapped it for $1 million. Yeah, they just slapped their own shares out of their hands. So they get profit in one account, and they just bought higher in another account, and they'll rinse and repeat. So it looks to you like the ticker's getting slammed, and it could be, it very well could be. You know, that's the important part of watching L2. You know, seeing where they sit on ask, how they move their bids around, how they move their asks around. You can typically see a burst before it happens just by the shifting of the L2. and
Yep.
that's typically retail, so it's not really the market makers, because you know, I won't lie. Back in the day, the Scott trade used to let you wash trade right through the platform. You can buy and sell your own shares
Yep.
in the same account, nonetheless, not even in different accounts. So there's guys out there doing the same thing, and like I said, it creates volume, and it makes it look like the ticker is more active or has more trades on the day than it really does.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it gets it on the
watch
scanners.
that, and if people are flipping, you just want to make sure you're not the last one to shut the lights out.
Yep. Yeah. And that sort of goes back to like finding your trading style though that works for you. Some people like to hold tickers longer. Some people like to flip them. There's no wrong way to make money in this market. So don't let people talking shit about flippers uh, prevent you from having that be your style of trade because there's money to be made 1,000 different ways in this market, and there's like I said, there's no wrong way to make money. So just figure out what works for you, and obviously you have to be adaptable as the market changes. I've been trading the OTC for 5 or 6 years now, and the market's changed a lot from where it was when I first started. It was driven by fucking newsletters and shit back then, which is crazy to think about
The
now.
hard mailers, right? You talking
Yeah,
about hard mailers?
yeah,
Yo, those stickers. That's how fucked up I'm getting. Those stickers used to run 900,000, 1,500% in a day.
yeah. It was crazy.
Those, if that's what you're talking about, the old days with the hard mailers. Yeah,
Yeah.
those were some sick days.
And I mean, you just have to
I
be.
don't think they'll be coming back around, but I'll tell you what, I got a hard mailer from Robinhood. I almost went downstairs and opened up an account. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? After I put my computer.
Yeah, no, they have like radio ads. Robinhood has radio ads now. Like they're
Yeah,
making
but they almost
they're making a big push right now.
a hard mailer. I was, you know,
Yeah, that's crazy.
you're cutting out a little bit. Oh, there you go.
And then
Yeah,
emotions.
yeah, the old hard mailer pumps. They were classic.
Yeah, I like it's crazy to think where the market used to be and where it is now. For what's actually driving price in a lot of these tickers, it's a different game than it used to be. And if you can't adapt to it, then the market will just eat you up. The market doesn't give a shit about you or what problems you have or anything like that. So you always have to be adaptable to market conditions.
Yeah, that's why when people talk about trading with money that they need, it's the worst thing you could do. You're gonna lose it. I can almost I don't guarantee anything, but I can almost guarantee that you trade with money that you can't afford to lose. You're gonna make irrational decisions and you're gonna lose it.
Yep.
You might hit once, you might hit twice, and you're gonna get greedy and you're gonna try to hit again. You're gonna lose it.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. And that just goes into like the emotions that go along with trading. And those can be your biggest enemy as you trade is, as soon as you start to doubt yourself on trades, it's hard to put some good trades together in a line.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, I just did on Twitter the other day. I meant to hit 10 contracts. I hit 100 by accident. I started freaking out. I had a trade plan. I was bullish on it, and sure enough, it went bullish. And I think I started closing it out at like 30, the first chunk at like 20 or 30%, just because I felt so uncomfortable that I was in so big.
yeah.
And the stock ended up, I forget what it was, 400%. I think I was completely out of my position at like 60%. Yeah, it was 60%. I was completely out, and the stock went 600% that day. So it just shows you how mentally it took me out of my game plan just because I was so focused on how much size I had on it and risk that I didn't want to lose it, and I just started selling out earlier. Then I scaled out way too quick, definitely, and I sold early just out of not. It was just a mess that day after I did that. It's good that I went in that big because the returns were nice, but if I was in half that size and I took it up 3 or 4 bags, it would probably made twice as much and been a lot more comfortable, and not been freaking out the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Obviously, I don't type that in chat when I am because I know I'm in a good place. It's just me freaking out. But on that
Yep.
Twitter trade that I know Jeff was in it and a few other people technically with me, but yeah, that I was freaking out about that, and luckily it hit. 'Cause, I mean, order entry, it's, when you're doing it real quick and you're trying to catch that quick, and you screw up,
Yep.
it could be costly.
Oh yeah, I've accidentally bought shit when I meant to sell shit, and
Yeah, or I bought puts when I meant to buy calls, or same thing. Yeah, I bought shit when I meant to sell it. I'm like, fuck. It's just you try to do stuff so quick sometimes. You,
yep.
you end up costing yourself money. So you have to be quick, but you really got to focus on what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's where having a plan comes in because a lot of times if you have a plan built out already, you already have half your orders set before it ever makes a move in the direction that you're thinking that it's gonna go.
Yeah, and I mean, I hate to beat on a dead horse, but that Twitter trade was going exactly to plan, and it was just I was just freaking out because of the size I had on it. So,
Yeah.
I'm not typically a short-term player either. I like to buy a few weeks out at least. I think I had less than a week and a half on it, so that made me panic a little bit more. The theta and the premium burn. So it just goes to show you, you can make stupid mistakes on stupid decisions, whether you did them on purpose or not.
Yeah.
So your trading plan is key, and not making mistakes and keeping your emotion in check should fit into your trading plan. But you should never get into a trade without having an exit strategy and at least a price target or where you want to get to.
Yeah, definitely.
Otherwise, you don't know what you're shooting for. You're shooting in the dark. You're just hoping for it to go higher every day if you don't have a price target. And it
Yeah.
sounds cliche, and everybody talks about it, but it's so true. You need to have a stop out, whether it's mental or hard, and you need to have a price target. Whether you have multiple price targets or one, depending on how you scale out, or if you just sell out, you need to know where you're selling.
Yep. And that goes on if the trade goes bad also. You need to have your exit points in place. And obviously, the whatever different traders have different risk levels. So if you're following somebody that has a higher risk level than you, and you're just following them, like and not actually trading, just following somebody, you're gonna end up losing your ass. If their risk points a 30% loss before they're gonna cut, or a 50% loss before they're gonna cut, which is what I play.
I mean,
I play that on some of these low floats. I'll be down 30 or 40%, not really give a shit because I know that the upward moves.
but I bet you get a bunch of DMs of people freaking out.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
same thing. I'm like, I expect, not that I expect it, but I'm okay being down here right now. I'm okay being down 30%. There's volume, we're at support, whatever the reason may be. But
yep,
you start getting DMs. Oh man, it's falling apart. I gotta sell out, and it's like you don't want to pump the guys up, but at the same time, you don't want to lose freight. So it's like they put you in an awkward position. And again, that's why I don't like giving sell targets. I like putting my stops out so people have an idea you know, where my risk level is.
yep,
Um, but as far as price targets go, I always shoot for a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio, and at least our chat knows that, so they should know that. If I'm shooting for 100%, I'm okay with losing at least 33% around, whatever you want to figure.
yep.
So, OTC is about the same too. Small caps, OTC, 3-to-1 risk reward, or 2-to-1 maybe on the small caps. If I'm looking to make 30%, I'm okay with losing 15%.
And it's so hard with OTCs to set price targets because,
they're all over the place. Yeah.
well, exactly, they're just so scummy. You don't know if there's going to be a reverse split, AS increase. Like, you never know what the fuck they're going to do. So it's almost impossible to set price targets because you could have the most bullish chart, put out shitty ass news, and the chart's dead.
Yeah. Completely agree. And
I was gonna say position sizing and scaling is important in the emotion side of it too. Sort of like you were talking about, you accidentally bought 100 contracts instead of 10. We have sizing that we use. Every trader should have sizing that they use that they're comfortable with. Um, and you shouldn't be just trading a certain size because somebody else is trading that size. It needs to fit into a spot where you're emotionally okay with that money going away, and that goes back to not trading with money that you can't lose. Like if you're trading on your rent money or some shit like that, you need to stop trading. Like don't be trading.
Or people make videos.
Yeah, seriously. Holy shit, that's a great example from this last week. If anybody saw it, I'm not going to go into detail on it, but
Yeah.
it's like an emotional train wreck for trading. And like I don't even understand how you would trade in that kind of state.
Yeah.
Like like in a meaningful way. I mean, you can just buy shit randomly, but
I don't know either. Especially not being a newbie or someone very very new to it, it just blows
yeah.
my mind. But
I,
you know, um, you know, I could jump into one of two actually two pretty easy strategies that I use um, that other people might find value in. Um, you know, I got some charts, so I could pull up random charts and we could go through them. Unless you had anything else on emotions or your plan, your trading
oh
plan.
man, go for it. Here, I'll set you as a presenter so that you can do whatever you can share whatever you need to.
All right, bear with me because I'm like a few drinks in here already.
That was perfect. Now I can sit back.
I was actually I didn't start scanning for this week yet, but when I was getting ready for this, I was looking at some charts, and I'll tell you what, AMD's looking really sexy to me right now. I didn't realize it's Friday. I might even took a starter on it Friday. You know, it filled the gap here, and it seems to be holding. It's got that curl to it. It's coming to the end of its wedge. Typically, you're going to see a breakout 3/4 before the end of the wedge break. You know, you might get a bunch of technical analysis guys that are going to argue with me, but, you know, if you go out of the textbook, typically 3/4 from the wedge, you'll see a breakout or a breakdown. To me, right now with the volume, it's still got room in the stock. It's not overbought. ACT's fine. And I wouldn't even look at the Bollinger Band percentage at this point. I go into that later, but it's got that curl to it. I think we're going to have a strong market next week, but again, just going to follow price action. But if Trump gets it done, which is supposed to be, and Tuesday opens up with some news headlines, I think we can see this really rip with the rest of the market. Now, is it going to be a gapper at that point and too risky? Is a different story. I'll have to see come Tuesday. But right now, I really like that setup long. I think it's a nice bullish setup for, depending on how far out you want to go, I would say at least 25 calls with 2 to 3 weeks time. I play it. But I'd have to go back and look at the premiums again. But earnings are over, further out of the way. You don't have to worry about them. It's just a sexy chart that I have on my watch list, and it'll definitely be in our watch list and chat this week. Even though we often trade AMD. What was another? I seen another actually sexy chart by accident. Was it Fink? Mm-hmm.
Hey Chris, are you trying to share right now your screen?
Yeah. Oh, it's not giving me the option anymore.
Oh, there we go. I think it's coming up now.
Did it go out on you?
There we go. All right, we got you now.
All right, let me get you out of the way. All right. So real quick, let me just see on Twitter again. Not Twitter, AMD. This is what I was looking at AMD. I was talking about the wedge break. We're about 3/4 of the way here. You zoom in, you're getting that curl. You should start the volume increasing. Your stock's still got level before it's overbought, and your Bollinger Band percentage I'm not looking at on this stock right now, just because of the pattern that it's forming. This is one of the sexier chart patterns that I've run into this weekend so far. You can call it a mini head and shoulders here. It's pretty shallow. If you take it down to maybe a 30-minute time frame, it might look better. But sorry, an inverted head and shoulders. But I'm just looking at this curl right here on this flag breakout, and ultimately a bigger picture wedge breakout. It looks sexy long to me, and I think it's going to be a strong market next week. A lot of bullish flow on the call side. There's some $1.4, $2 million bull missiles thrown out for March and April. Not even a lot of time at like 279, 280 strikes. So I think there's a lot of people shooting for a needle mover in the headlines. And like I said, if we don't gap up, I think this is a good play to look at. Fin I actually had up because this kind of explains just a basic, simple moving average strategy that I look at. Ignore the rest of these indicators. I just simply look at moving averages. You got the 50, which is your red, your 8, which is your 8 EMA, and then I'm colorblind. What color is this, Matt? Green?
Looks like white. I don't know.
Puke. Let's call it puke. The puke color line is your 20 moving average. So it's your typical Bollinger Band middle moving average line that most people are going to see on their Bollinger Bands. I like to use that just for that reason, and it also applies to the strategy. So I like to use the 20 MA. Anything that's not the simple MA, again, is my 8. That's always an 8 EMA because that's my trigger to go long or short. So basically, I'm not going to get too into depth, but it's a very simple strategy. I believe it triggered a few times that I could show it. If you're under the 50 moving average, again, which is the red line, and here's an example. If you're under the 50 moving average, it's a bearish signal. So if you're trending up and you go attempt and try to break the 20 moving average, that's a bearish signal if it rejects. So on an 8 AMA, if it breaks, I'm bearish on the stock. So as you was here, we're under the 50, attempts to break the 20, it rejects, breaks the 8 EMA, loses support, drops it. And on the flip side, same thing with bullish. If I'm above 50 moving average, it clears my 8 EMA, I'm 100% bullish on the stock. It's something that, here's a good example of it right here. Get above it, above the 50, and you go from, it's called 530 to 6 days. You could run through a bunch of charts and apply that, and I'm sure you'll find a pretty good statistics on how often that works. Again, it's a very simple strategy, just using strictly moving averages. I always like to look at volume too, just to get an idea if people are actually looking at stock, what the money flow is. But if you're just strictly looking at moving averages, that's a very easy way to look for a long or short entry. And then your exit targets, I just simply use support and resistance. So if I'm scaling out, I have multiple support levels to watch. If they get broken, I'll scale out in pieces. If it holds that support, I'll typically get out and wait for it to reset up, whether I go long or short on it. Matt, you use a very similar bottom bouncer strategy with the MACD or the PPO and the stock. Do you want to go over that?
Yeah.
Or do you not have your platform up? I could do it.
If you want to pull it up really quick, I can just explain it off of yours, I bet. Basically, it's you're looking for the stock to be at bottom support, which is going to be usually 20 and below. And then you want, the MACD, you're looking for a positive move on it, no matter where it's really at. If it's negative.
Like Matt's talking right now, here's a perfect example of it. You have your stock right here coming out of oversold, so
Yep.
it's breaking the 20. And then you have your, I like to use PPO, but for some reason I can't get it on my E-Trade. So I'm using MACD, which almost exactly replicates it. Once your histo either starts to go positive or is trending in that direction, if you're more aggressive, that's a buy signal right here.
Yep.
Right, Matt? You do the same thing?
Exactly.
So this is a buy signal right here. We're buying within these days. So I got Twitter up here, but so that's, $28 to $29, call it. And then that thing moves right up into the 33s. Now, if you're long $30 calls on that, you're making money. I could pull up a bunch of OTC charts. We have them in our chat under our FAQ folder under strategies, but I think I list about 20, 30 OTC charts. The strategy works just as well there as well. Again, it's such a simple strategy, and it's more well-defined in our chat, but I'll at least talk about my sell point real quick. But, I call it grinding the rail, but once it's overbought, I'm not looking to sell it. I'll hold it while it's overbought.
Yeah.
The only time
Well,
I'm looking to
a
sell
lot
it is when it breaks under 80.
Yep. A lot of times over 80, they'll push higher even in the OTC.
Yeah, I mean, you could
You
stay
get
over
that 80
for a
break.
while.
And but yeah, the sell signal is a break back under 80, because usually you're going to see at least a couple of days of downside on it before maybe a relief bounce. And in the OTC, a lot of times you're going to see a lot of downside before you get a relief bounce. So, but yeah, strategy works on big boards and on OTCs pretty well actually.
Yeah, and for any OTC traders or big board traders, I mean, something that the only thing that I change or that I add into my rules, and again, we have them in the folder, so I have a whole set of rules right now that I follow, but I do look at the Bollinger Band percentage because of what it's telling me once you get into this. I don't want to call it oversold because it's not. It's just a very coiled up ticker at that point. It's telling you that it's about to make a move. Whether it's up or down doesn't tell you. That's where you got to look at the chart and decide what you think it's going to do. Or have an idea what you think it's going to do, and then if it does it, follow your plan. If it doesn't, obviously, you're not going to fight the trend. But I look at this Bollinger Band percentage. I see that it's, again, it's coiled up nice and tight. I see it meets my strategy. I see the histo and the MACD is going positive. Boom, that's a buy for me right there. So I know it's going to make a move. Now, you could have held on for a week, or you could have held on for the extra week for, where are we going? From 34 to, say, we triggered it the next day. $27 to $34 within 2 weeks. I mean, that's a huge move, especially if you're playing options on that. Even if you have comments, that's a huge move.
Yeah.
My screen's a little flattened out, so it might not look like, and I don't have it in log scale, so it might not look like a big move, but that's a big percentage move. So you got calls on that, unless there's earnings or something in there, and there has premium baked into it. You're getting paid on those big time. So that's a multi-bagger move right there, definitely. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Matt. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Yeah.
If
So.
you need me to pull up a chart, let me know.
No, so it's honestly it's that simple. You look for your stock under 20, and then that's your buy when it breaks back over with a MACD move to the positive, and then once you're over 80, you obviously you're gonna want to trim if it's an OTC on your move up, but once you're over 80, you just look for that break under and if it breaks under, that's your sell signal.
Yeah. Let me just. Sorry, I missed the name. I just saw the ticker and I missed who asked, but somebody asked to pull up Walmart. That's
I think that somebody asked to pull up Netflix also a little bit earlier.
Okay, yeah. I have that. I actually have that on our watch list in chat, but I'll pull it up here as well. But yeah, Walmart, you got inverted head and shoulders. If you're a technical analysis too. You're a little bit hot in the stock. Your MACD's bullish divergence, and your Bollinger Band showing you that you were about to make a big move right around here on the lower head. And again, uh, this is another reason that I use it. I'll show it to you while it's here. Here it's telling me we're about to make a move, and I can show you back here too. But once you get to that 0, 10 and less, even better if you fall into that negative area, you're coiled up tight. It's telling you you're about to make a move. Again, whether it's up or down, completely different. That you have to look at the chart to decide. But it's telling you that you're about to make a move. It's like if you don't want to clog your chart up with Bollinger Bands or Keltner charts or whatever. I like to keep my charts clean besides a few moving averages, so I don't like Bollinger Bands on my chart. And I find this more useful anyway as far as triggering because it comes down to a more precise date rather than Bollinger Bands where you can coil up for quite a while. But it tells you you're going to make a move here, which is pretty much your right shoulder. You come down a little bit the next day, but then you just made a 7% move within what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 within a little over a week of trading, 7 trading days. So that's a big move. Depending on the options you have, I would think most people would have bought $100 options on that, just thinking you're going to ring the $100 bell again. And depending on where it came in at, and they have earnings, 219. They have earnings coming up, so it was actually
Tuesday.
It was actually a run into earnings as well. At this point, I would wait post earnings now. I wouldn't buy into earnings. I'm not a big earnings player unless I feel really confident about it or there's something that I feel that I have an edge on. And that's very rare that you feel like you have an edge on Wall Street. But it's a 60 chart. I just don't like now seeing that earnings are on 219. But besides that, like I said, I don't know, Penny, you're a good chartist. What do you think of that? You got a little bit of resistance right here where it's meeting.
Yeah, and earnings, but.
And then you got 105 above it.
I'm always a believer in if you're up big before earnings, to take your gains.
Yeah, and you know what? That was a breakout too. If they power, it holds. And by this volume, I'm wondering if they do beat it and it holds. I'll have to see Tuesday. But that's a lot of volume from a Friday, even before earnings. You'd think you would see a little bit less. Most of the smart money is jockeying back around here for earnings positions, unless they're in for the long haul. They're not waiting until the Friday before earnings. A day to sell or buy shares. They're back here. We're looking at up here. They're bigger picture. We're looking at, I can speak for myself, but we're looking at much nearer time frames than they are.
Yeah.
When you're only moving around a few thousand to a few 100,000 versus a few million and a few billion, you're talking different stories.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm a believer in if you bought back, when it was lower and you're up good before earnings, at least get some of your money back out of the game because earnings are fucking just sketchy sometimes. You can beat and beat down.
It's a gamble. People tell you otherwise.
Especially with how the market's acting right now, at least get some of your money back just in case it goes south.
Yeah, actually, this is a good chart to pull up as far as, I had some people ask, I don't always show it on my charts, depending on if I set it up on my iPad or my desktop. Through my iPad, I can't get it, but I don't always show the Bollinger Band percentage. But what I'm really looking for on this is I'm looking for a nice setup on the chart, and I'm looking for if I see something hitting this 10 or less, or even going negative, I have it on watch because it's telling me that it's going to make a move. Now, again, which way the move is, doesn't know. But here, you hit, you broke up, you got resistance here, so I said probably, I'm not going to buy here. Go back again. Got resistance. Obviously, you don't want to fight the trend, so here's your resistance. Probably would have bought on that. Then you got to move from, and I'm not going to lie and say, oh, I would have bought right here where it's telling me that, right at the bottom, right here, right where it told me that it's going to make a move. So I would have bought at 92, and I would have sold it right here at 105. I would have waited, I would have waited it out, but would have had on our watch list. I would have waited till it broke resistance. So bought it somewhere around $97. Unfortunately, it did have earnings, but actually it came down on earnings, and then it went up to 102. So again, you're talking about a big move within a short time frame. That's why, here's one post earnings. Like here it goes negative, boom, I put it on watch. Not saying I'm buying here. All I'm doing is put it on watch. Comes up, and then boom, right here it meets my strategy, and my strategy that he uses. Stock goes bullish. Histogram starts to go positive, and my Bollinger Band percentage told me that it's about to make a move. So let's be conservative and say I bought high die. What was that? $90, $90 to, and let's say I just bought the initial run, $90 to $95 in a week. You bought some calls on that, you're bagging on those in such a short time frame. What's that? 7.5% move within a week, 6.5. I'm horrible at it, so it's just a trigger that I like to watch that tells me that a stock's about to make a move. Then when it meets my strategy, like it does here, boom, it's a buy. And again, you probably would have really, if you follow the moving average strategy too, which it triggered here, I would have bought on the break at 90, and then sold. I rode it to the top. I'm not the greatest at nailing tops, but technically, if I followed my strategy, I didn't sell until it broke down on 80. I wouldn't be selling to about, let's say you sold the next day, would have sold at $95 from $90. So you got a nice, 7% move in 2 weeks. Whether you're holding commons, you just beat the S&P for the year, or if you're holding options, you just, depending on where and how far out you bought, you just made yourself some money, or a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a very simple, easy strategy to follow that I use, and like I said, that Matt uses, that works very well for me. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, no, it does. If you pull up OTC charts or big board charts, you're going to see that it works more than it doesn't work. And, as long as you have a plan going into it, the times that it doesn't work, you're not going to take big losses. And the times that it does work, you're going to make some decent gains off of it.
Here you go, right here. Guess what it triggered in the high teens? And then what it took you to, depending on how greedy you are, you would have multi-bagged it.
Yeah.
If you held on and yourself, you sold at the bottom the next day, you still would have been up 100%, right?
Yep.
Still would have been up 100%. So you would have been up 100% to 200% this whole time. And then if you got really greedy and just held, then you're probably up a little bit right now. But that's where the bearish divergence is the sell trigger. So somewhere in here, even though this is a lagging indicator, it's a red day. You're going to get bearish divergence. You can A, be proactive and sell in here, or B, you can wait until the candle closes and sell the next day. But you would have sold. There's still profit, just not as much.
Exactly.
Again, very simple strategy to follow. I like to call it the bottom bouncer strategy because that's typically where you're going to see it. You're not going to see a mean reversion or a trending stock. You're going to see it in the stock coming off the bottom. And like I said, I got it more detailed. If anybody's in our chat, I got a more detailed write-up on it, on all the rules and exactly what I follow. and a bunch of examples and back testing of it. But do you know anything else on that?
No, that pretty much covers it.
If you
And
see
the
any
nice
questions, I can't see them or just my screen's blocking them. So just let me know.
No, the nice thing about it is I mean, it's an easy one to follow too. I mean, you don't have to be some fucking 15-year trader to figure out that when it breaks under 20 and your MACD's negative and starts turning positive and it starts to make that break over 20, there's a good chance it's going to make a bullish move.
Yeah, I didn't put this together till I was probably 5 years into trading, and I was like, no, it can't be this easy. I'm like, and I'm not saying this is a good rich scheme or strategy, because
Yeah,
it's
because
not.
I mean, nothing works every
But
time.
you start pulling up charts and testing it, and you'll see that there are false buy signals. Not a whole lot of them, but there are. Um, but it is such an effective, easy strategy. Like, I'm still shocked today that it works.
Yeah,
I really am. Just like a pincher, I'm still shocked that they work.
yeah, the pinchers are crazy.
I guess TA is a self-fulfilling can't even talk right now. Prophecy. So when a bunch of people see a pincher, whether it's big boards or OTCs, they like to really put them on a watch and get into them. And if you get news on the ticker, that's when you see it freaking rock. Did you want to pull up any OTC tickers, or did anybody ask for any?
There was one. Hold on. Oh,
I'll be right back.
I don't know if it's OTC, but it's foreign exchange. PQEFF.
What is it?
PQEFF.
PQEFF?
Yep.
What time frame do you want? I gotta run for 1 minute.
What's this on right now? 1 year, 1 day?
Yeah, you want lower time frame?
No, this should be alright. Or give me like a 6 month, yeah.
I'll be right back.
So it's under long-term support. I mean, it's starting to base down here though. Stotch is on the downturn. MACD's trying to get, looks like even. I think that it needs a little bit more time to cool down probably. When Chris comes back, I'll have him zoom in on the chart a little bit. Looks like it's broken below the moving averages, and Stotch and, is on a downside, and it's probably going to have to get back down underneath that 20 range, it looks like, before it's going to bounce. Usually does not bounce above the 20. A couple times it has, but they haven't been huge bounces, so I would expect that to cross back under the 20 before.
Fucking break the seal.
Will you zoom in on the chart a little bit for me, Chris?
Sorry, zoom in? Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see where the MAs are at. Yeah, so it's broken.
I need to change. Let me know.
No, because you're using the 8 and the 20, right? Or the 8 and the 50.
820 and 8 EMA 20 and 50 simple.
Okay, cool. That's what I used to. Yeah, so I would say that this has more downside to it. Just strictly on a chart standpoint, I haven't dug into obviously any details on what the company's doing. But if they're trading on the OTC, yeah, I'm thinking down there in the 30, low 30 range, yeah. Probably at 30. Wherever that last support was at, it's going to probably at least go to that, I'm thinking.
Yeah, they're going to the 30s here. 29. Yeah, I can see that breaking into the teens. Not teens, the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of
It doesn't look like a sexy bullish setup at this point, in my opinion.
No. Well, and it looks like you got some volume spike, and with 2 red candles on the volume spike, it gapped up and closed below where it opened at. So,
yeah.
Or at least closed below where it opened at. So there was probably I don't know if it had news or what, but from just looking at the chart, I'd say that probably there was news or something came out and generated some volume, and most likely some note holders decided it was a good time to convert some shares. Because it doesn't look like it really got loaded up too heavy before it made that move up. I mean, there's one big volume bar there, but that's about it. Yeah, so if it breaks down below that, it's probably see, and I'm thinking it's probably going high 20s, mid 20s maybe. It looked like where support was at from.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that that support 20. I'd agree.
I mean, as such, this is what 60-minute hour time frame. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
It got
Yeah,
some.
let me know. If not, I'll do some of the ones people are sending me.
I was gonna say, it looks like. I mean, to me, what looks like happened is it most likely got some news or something. And this is without looking at it at all. It probably got some news, got pumped up, and somebody sold some notes, and then there's a volume fade obviously on it. With the volume fade, the price is gonna fade because there's no buying pressure. So yeah, I think that one, just from a chart standpoint, not knowing anything else about it, that it's probably gonna to head into the 20s at least.
A lot of people sent me on BA.
As I say, did we check Netflix yet too? I know that somebody asked for Netflix.
Yeah, I got Netflix on there next. A lot of people are DMing me about BA. What I think of it. I think you don't fight the trend here. I mean, you know, off the latest trend reversal, if you're using your fibs, I mean, it blasted through everything and it headed towards the 138.2. I put it on the watch list just to give you guys an idea in case for some reason the market does get weak. I think this is an overextended stock. Granted, they got a lot of news, a lot of positive news lately. I just think it's an overextended stock that you know, a lot of people might be looking to take profits on, especially in a weak market. I mean, run from 300 to over. It's run 25% since the beginning of the new year, really. Yeah, since January. It's up over 25% already. So hedges and banks, Main Street, Wall Street. I mean, you know, they're not stupid. They're gonna start locking profits in. I haven't went through the call and put flow on it. I should. I did briefly. I should better to look at it, but again, this is something I wouldn't fight yet, though. I'd be too scared to go long here on it now, just because I don't think the risk reward is there. Again, I like to look for a 3-to-1. It could very well run to 450, and I could be like, fuck, I should have bought it at 418 when I did that webinar. But it's just something I don't want to chase right now. Again, it's a fairly safe play too when it comes to a weak market, being Bowen and a self-defense contractor. You know, still getting federal money if there is it, and getting contract news, etc. They had a good earnings. Earnings is over with, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's a pure technical, and you know, people still traded on valuation play. But personally, it's not something that I would really touch until I see it up around like the 425, 430 level, and then I see it start to really lose volume, and I see some kind of reversal candle, whether it's an inverted headed candle or a dark cloud cover, something that shows me. I mean, because your stock is already overbought, your MACD is getting ready to roll. It looks like.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to, but it looks like it is.
The stock hasn't stayed that high for that long ever. It doesn't look like.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big run for it. For such a large company, you know, it's a big move. So a lot of people made a lot of money in this. We traded in chat a few times, but if some people bought, somewhere around here and they bought March calls on it, they're sitting pretty right now. Um, but we flipped more in and out of it. I think we took some swings on it, but I think it's just something that either unless you're intraday scalping it or playing it intraday, I think it's something that swinging wise, I'm not looking to go long until I see it start exhausting. Because right now it still looks bullish to me. What about you, Penny?
Yeah, I mean, other than the MACD, that's the only thing that's gonna go uh, cross over here pretty soon. But
Yeah, and I think I pulled up the 200 simple moving average before, and I notated this in our chat, but I believe it's up over 100% over the 200 SMA. And I know it sounds silly, but a lot of people look at that. How far over the 200 simple moving average is this stock? And a lot of algos and scripts from hedgies and algo trading, high tree, these firms look at that and they consider that overbought if it's way above the 200 simple moving average or way above the VWAP on the daily or weekly or monthly, depending on how big they are in it. So and those are the people you got to watch out for. The retail's nothing.
yeah,
We're just a bunch of bums. It's the big guys selling that you got to watch out for. So,
yeah,
we got some exciting announcements I think coming in the next 2 weeks with chat and stuff we'll be adding and making and improving the platform better. But in the meantime, I think we're just gonna keep plugging away and making that money.
yep, yeah. That it looks super overextended, but
Yeah.
I've seen shit keep running after it's overextended. So I'm not saying it's done yet either.
Because I was like up here, I was like, wow, this is way overextended. I was like, I'm gonna short it here, and thank God I didn't because it flagged and it freaking ripped again.
yeah,
It went down to like 400, which I probably would have sold, and then it ripped up to 470. So I would, maybe I would have made money here. Probably not. I probably would have got greedy and sold up here for a loss. It's hard to say, but that's the perfect flag and breakout. It's still very bullish. I mean, it broke out on Friday too, so I'm just not
yeah.
ready to, go short or take puts on it yet.
No, but when it's time, that thing's it's got some room to come down.
Yeah, definitely. Where's the other ones? Oh, Netflix. Why is this chart? No. I was gonna say, what the hell wrong chart? $10 stop. There we go.
It's got some major resistance.
Yeah, that's what I'm just looking now. I mean, Netflix can surprise you, but and I like this. It's got a nice little cup and
Yeah.
handle here.
Yep.
You see that? But it's got that major resistance, which would scare me a little bit. But let me zoom in a little bit more. It looks like it needs to break that 361 call, 361.50 with volume. Then you got some room to 370 plus. Then it opens up for you, but
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely got some resistance to work through. I mean, it's clearly a trend change. Yeah, it's definitely a trend change. Yeah, without even drawing trend lines, you can see it's a trend change. But in the short term at least. Yeah, I mean it looks like pretty much every other big board ticker right now, but it's got that little copy handle, and it looks like it's
Yep.
gonna go. You know, I think somebody put it on our watch list. I think Riddler might have put it on the watch list in our chat, but that would be something I would be watching too. Even with the tough resistance right now.
Well, yeah, if it breaks through that, it's gonna go.
Yeah, if it breaks through that, it's going. I agree. I think it's bullish. If it gets through it, with volume.
Yeah.
Again, the stock's a little high. Maybe they consolidate it down here and keep trying to tag that resistance for a little bit. Maybe make it a consolidate cup and handle into a consolidation, which would actually be beneficial. Granted, you'd have to wait longer for the setup, but typically the longer or more consolidation you get, the bigger the breakout or breakdown you're gonna get.
Yep.
The more shares that are getting churned in this area, just up, down, trying to break it. People are getting frustrated. They're selling. They're getting frustrated. They're selling. Smart money's just like, okay, I could do this for a year. Taking it. Boom. Then they just slam it up to like 400 plus, and then you're chasing it, and they're selling it right back to you.
Yep.
They're selling it right back to you for 300 or 400% on their money. It's just an example, but that's just how it works. So, it doesn't always work like that. Obviously, if it did, we'd all be, billionaires, and nobody would exist on Twitter because I'd be on my own private island, soaking up the sun rays, and
Well, and it's
teaching my kids
Netflix. Netflix is it's known for making.
Yeah, that's one that I definitely have on watch. I like it. Matt likes the chart. I think, like we said, it's got some tough resistance to get through, but I think once it gets through that, or if you're a little aggressive and you want to take a starter, I wouldn't really be opposed to taking a starter myself. I might even next week looking at it. Let's look at the shorter time frame. But I know they just had, they just raised the prices recently about 18% or so.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna cancel their Netflix because it costs $2 more.
Yeah, exactly. The last CEO that tried it failed miserably, but he raised it from like $12 to $24, where people knew on their credit cards that, what the hell is this? Oh, wait a minute, why did Netflix go up so much?
Yep.
He's doing it more gradually. Yeah, I mean, it's making, yeah, technically it did make a higher high here. It's making higher highs and higher lows, so it's still an uptrend on the 60-minute. Up, higher high, but here it's got a curl and go.
Yep.
So I think the next 2 days are key days now, right? The next few days are really gonna tell you.
But yeah, it's got to break that Monday from Friday in the next day or two. I would agree.
Yeah, you got a few days here, but it's something I definitely have on watch. What else did I have? Did I do AMD? I fucking forgot already. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think that was the one we started with.
Yeah, I did Twitter, I did Walmart, I did VA,
Let me check the chat.
Netflix.
Somebody asked for RNWR.
What you wanted to do?
There's two that somebody requested. RNWR.
Hold on, retard. RNWR.
There we go.
There you go.
Those up there micro floaters.
Let me put it. What did you say?
It says that they're micro floaters, so I'm gonna go check.
Wow, it's thin.
Oh yeah, it's super thin. You can just tell from the chart.
Somebody's fucking with it. You see it?
Yeah.
Somebody's fucking with it. Red flag.
RNW.
In my opinion. Small, but still.
It's a stop sign.
Yeah, somebody's fucking with it.
2.5 billion authorized, but right now it does have
700 grand. And what was that? 101, 70,000
Uh,
blocked that day.
50 million float.
And it never got sold. Look at the volume, and then it never got sold. It could have been sold in pieces through here, but I don't see enough to sell that volume. I think people still own it from down here.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
The .001 range. And lower. Much lower. .008.
But it doesn't.
It's too thin, too. That unless you got balls of steel.
Yeah, because you're looking at.
I mean, it could go. I mean, it could be a cup and like an ugly cup and handle, but I don't know. I'd be nervous.
Yeah, I was gonna say they haven't filed a 10.
It's just the strategy right here. 03 to 15 cents. But then again, you don't know what the spread was. We're not here to fucking bullshit people and tell people, hey, look, the strategy was guaranteed at 150%. We don't know what the spread was. Because the spread could have been a penny by 0.005 or something stupid, just by how thin it is. But technically, it did fit the strategy, so I'd be watching it here. Maybe not this one because of the volume.
Yeah.
But it's a buy here, both on the 8 EMA break and the stock breaking above 20, and the histo going positive. It's a buy signal. So you're buying right around, let's call it 45, let's call it 50 just to be conservative. And then you sell, if you sell halfway up, you already doubled your money. You made 120%. Granted, you're only on, I don't know how much dollar volume that is. I have to get my calculator because I'm not great at math, but it's not a whole lot of dollar volume.
230.
If you're extra small, I'd be careful. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was doing. It's like 20,000. I think 1,000 was the.
Yeah, I mean that could be one guy.
Yeah.
He'd be stupid, but there's a lot of stupid people, including myself.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people know I hate stop signs, mainly because I look at filings, so if there aren't filings.
It's a stop sign ticker?
Yeah, but it might be a reinstatement. I don't know. Because I haven't.
Well, that's what Exol is supposed to freaking do. If he ever gets on the horn here, I'm not gonna lie. I got a bucket load of Exol, and I'm gonna hold it. There's no way I'm selling here. It's just bottoms here. To be honest with you, I think there's a chat on there just sitting on the ask waiting. They know news is coming, or he's gonna file, and the yield sign's coming off, but they're not looking to sell because there's been bids there they can dump into and they haven't. Like a tick away. So if somebody's trying to get out for that long, and somebody gives you your size a tick off, who wouldn't take, if you're dumping a million shares or whatever, who wouldn't take the $60 off or $40, whatever the difference was? And they didn't take it, which tells me that there's a group on it blocking the ask right now for either catch more shares or they're just not ready to run it yet. So, me personally, I'm not ready to sell it here yet. Is it the greatest chart in OTC? Definitely not. Yeah. But, a big part of the story is getting the stop sign off, which was the yield sign, and I ripped him an asshole, so hopefully he'll respond. Actually, he did respond. Just took him a little while. And, I don't want to go into detail, but, he didn't give me any material info, but I just, I don't like repeating what CEOs say unless you talk to them because I feel like I'm pumping or whatever. But
yeah,
I understood what he was saying, and it made sense to me. It was logical, and so I'll continue to hold. When that bid's there, I'm not going to dump into it right now. But if other people do, I understand why. They were holding it for a while, or and it just hasn't went yet. It's a low float. It's that's not QB, was it? I got my tickers confused, man. Now.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just pink current.
Right, it was pink current, right, and then it got this stop or the yield rather.
Yield and then went stop. Yep.
Yeah. So right now I'm just holding it because I think I know the guys on it, and I think I know the guys playing it. They'll hold it for fucking 4, 5, 6, 7 months, but at the end of the day, they'll also hold it when it runs to whatever it may run to. I'm not gonna put a price target on it, but so I feel comfortable holding it as long as it stays within that range. You know, if it's dead money to you, sell and move on. You know, it's
Yeah,
that
as long
simple.
as it doesn't shit out that bottom again. Because if it shits out the bottom again, it's going trips, I would say, at
Oh
this
yeah,
point.
yeah, absolutely. You're talking about down here?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They gotta hold that 15, that 13 to 16 range, or 13 to 15 range rather. If they
Yeah.
can't hold the 13 to 15 range, then I feel like everybody's bearish on it, and they're about to get out, and you're about to get some people bidding trip fives, trip sixes to catch it, and then
Yep.
they'll probably be the ones that are gonna multi-bag on it when we end up losing. But again, we're probably putting the cart before the horse. You know, right now we're still up in the 20s. You know, and I keep seeing them painting it down and up. I've been watching these guys. There's somebody on it working it. So right now I'm still in a fairly good size. I won't lie. I got a fairly good amount of money in it. I couldn't dump it one day if I had to anyway, and I don't plan on it at this time. But you know, in 2, 3, maybe not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks from now, you know, if this doesn't start to move, then I gotta start looking at options, just like everybody else should. You know, why let your money sit there for that long? And when I could buy it when it starts to actually move and break out. You know, granted, I might miss some percentages and a few ticks from where I have it now, but
But you can put that
at least
money
I can
towards
put my money
something
to
else.
use in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a hard thing.
Another one?
I was gonna say pull up MSMY. I haven't even looked at that chart for a while, but all of a
Pull,
sudden CEO pulled
pull
his
it up, you said?
yeah MSMY.
See, this is throwing. They're showing a wrong ticker because that after hour print, somebody tried to paint it down.
Oh yeah.
It closed at 30. See, when I first opened it, it opened up green at 30 or 30. That's where it closed. And then, but somebody's ticket didn't get filled at $65,000. Somebody tried to paint it down the other day, and it didn't get filled to like 4:03 or something like that. 4 minutes and 3 seconds. So E-Trade, for whatever reason, painted it down. I could pull up another browser or another chart you want.
Oh, that's all good. I haven't even looked at the chart on it for a while, honestly.
Alright, hold on. Because it was pissing me off. Because I'll get the chart out, but it's actually let's go to 60 minutes. I think I'll get it. You want to go to 60 minute? I think I'll give a better view. There it goes. See how it says
Yeah.
30 now? It's got
Better.
that pop.
Yep.
Yeah, here's your volume. And your volume. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good. No, and what I look for like on these when they're all bottomed out, riding along, is obviously the volume increase, and then as funny as it is, I use almost the same indicators that you use on your big board stock. So the 8 MA cross is usually what will get something onto my watch list for a bigger move. Um, and and obviously the CEO is starting to get pumpy on Twitter with his trip and all that crap. So, but then,
MSNY is supposed to have. We're supposed to hear something by Thursday.
yeah,
Whether that comes through for tuition or not is on the CEO. You know, it's just again, do your own due diligence. Make sure you read. Don't listen to anybody on LionHub. Don't listen to us. Don't listen to anybody. It's your money. Find out on your own. So anytime I put money in a stock, I always do my own diligence. I mean, I follow Matt into stocks all the time just because I know he does such a good job of due diligence. But I still call the CEO or write to CEO or call him and just find out because if I'm throwing a lot of money in stock, I just want my own peace of mind.
yep, exactly.
But at the same time, I also throw a bunch of money in a bunch of OTCs just because he has such good calls and I know he does his due diligence. But you got to do your own. You got to own. And if I lose money on the trade, it's my fault. It's not Matt's fault. I bought the stock without looking at it.
Yep, yeah. That's a big thing in the OTC that cracks me up still. Like, thankfully, I'm not as active on Twitter as much as I used to be, so I don't have to deal with it as much. But people get super pissed off if you say something negative about their stock, and it's like, um, I don't understand when it became a period of time where we all have to agree on what we think a ticker is going to do. Like, if a ticker's shitty and there's something shitty about it, somebody posts about it, they get like, you know, fucking attacked. But it's, I guess it's just that herd mentality, and people are emotional about their money. But one person posting bad about one ticker should not affect the price, and if it does, um, probably not the best ticker to be in the first place.
Yeah, this is where it goes. Right here at this red and white line. So it got attention from the tweet from the CEO that he's going to what is it, Houston?
Yeah.
To get his M's on. I believe they're preferred shares, so he can split them 25-1 for his MSY holders. And then he also talked about retiring a block of. Actually, I don't know if he tweeted that part. Did he?
I don't know if he did either. No, I'm not sure.
I don't think he did. But he's talking about doing something with the share structure that has nothing to do. That's beneficial. So you know, we'll see if he comes out with an update like he said he would earlier in the week. Earlier in the week it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday already, and then anytime you need to do filing, you need time. You know, you need to word it right. You need to make sure they spend money on filings compared to text or a simple PR.
Yeah.
They want to make sure it's worded right and they capture everything. They don't want to have to file something and file something 10 minutes later. It's a fucking pain in the ass. So if he says he's doing what he's doing, then we'll see in the filing, and it should bring a lot of attention to the ticker. But right now we have that volume spike on Friday. People saw how thin it was, going 20 to 30 in what, less than 5 million volume, I think it was, man.
Yeah.
So you can imagine if that thing does $50 to $100 million in volume, where it can go just off the volume itself. There's nobody right now.
I think that somebody was stacking the ass trying to accumulate shares on the bid.
Yeah, they tried to paint it down too. That's why I got this stupid fucking candle.
I was gonna say, because there was some like serious size in the teens, because there wasn't that much bid support, so they were putting really big bids down there and then stacking the ask up a little bit. And I think that
nobody's selling.
Yeah.
Because I'm not.
But I think that what happened was that tweet that the CEO put out spiked the volume, and I don't think they had time to move their orders, honestly.
Yeah, I've seen the orders come in the previous few days, so somebody is either talking to CEO or has some insight, because I did see bids come in, and I thought it was odd, because I do have a lot of MY, and I've been holding it a while, and it's been a huge spread. So when I saw those bids come in, I thought something was up, and then sure enough, the CEO tweeted, and the bids got higher, and then the volume came in. So
Yeah.
It's still way early on this play. You know, we're down in the, I mean, it closed at .03, but you probably can still grab them in the 20s range, no problem, early next week. Unless the CEO does put out a PR, but I don't think that will be I don't think it will be towards the end of the week.
Yeah.
Keyword think.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it does hit maybe Thursday, we might see another volume spike, but for now, it's still early on that.
Yeah.
Good old John's, what is it, Stipik?
Yeah. Stipkin, or
whatever the fuck his name is. If I had more tickers, I fucking didn't write them down. Did you have any more?
ATVK and IGNG.
What, you want the daily or 60-minute?
Do the 60-minute on this one, because it hasn't had volume until recently.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
didn't you?
Yeah, I played it, and then I actually bought back in on Friday when it started dipping.
What? You bought it back back here?
I bought 0.0079 for my first buy. No, go back.
I was saying you were way
It
down.
was
Wow.
it was the day before that big fucking volume spike. My first buy was 0.0079. I was the only, I think, volume on the.
Oh, you bought it in
No,
here somewhere.
one day before that.
Oh.
That
Oh
day.
shit. Nice hit. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Did you
I was gonna say I was like half the volume that day.
Oh my. Yeah, I was gonna say. What the fuck?
It was just these low float tickers right now are fucking nutty. So this one's like super low float. I think I have the share structure up somewhere. On like 125, the OS is 39 million and 24 million of it's restricted. So it's a 12 million OS. So that's why it made such a big move off the start too. But yeah, I bought back in on Friday because it's coming back down. I mean, it's almost back to where it fucking started at, and hasn't really had a bounce since.
It went from under a cent to 3 cents on decent volume.
Yeah, it had good volume too.
Wow. Yeah, I kept slowing playing, and for some reason I didn't jump on it.
But now it's sort of like on this low volume downtrend, so I figured that was a good time to start taking a position in it again. I think that it's got a good chance to bounce again. There's definitely some selling going on though. Somebody started selling it down pretty hard at the end of the day, as you can see, but at the same time there were some nice orders that came back in. Yeah, it's probably gonna. I'm guessing it might go back down to that 0.008 level, but at the same time, the stock, the MACD, everything's pretty much bottomed out on it. So I'm expecting to get some sort of relief bounce here at some point.
Yeah, it's always bounced off this bottom here too on a BD percentage.
Yeah, and it's I mean it's thin, so it's only got a 12 million float. I'm guessing probably a little bit higher at this point since there was some selling, but
just watch your size, I guess what you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going into this very heavy, but it can definitely, obviously, it made a move in I think 2 days from where I bought it to up to 3 cents, I think, or over 3 cents. So, and it was on good volume. They had news recently, so if they put out some news again, I'm sure it'll pop up again.
Where's another hot ticker?
Right now, I've gotten out of a lot of my positions recently. I think I'm down to like 4. IGMB has big ass volume, but there was some fucking heavy ass selling. Like it was ready to break out, and it got stuffed hard on the breakout, like super fucking hard.
Yeah, what the?
Yeah, basically it just had to break over like the 0.005 to 53 range, and it would open up to 6, 7. I mean, it should have tested a penny if it broke over that range, just because it really hasn't traded over it for a while with any volume.
We've got my interest. Very, very thin, but.
Yeah, it's starting to break that trend.
Yeah.
Somebody posted.
But this is a big ABCD pattern.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this has been friggin' jeez.
Especially when it's starting to turn up a little bit. It doesn't have a ton of volume, but for the price range, I guess dollar volume isn't horrible.
Yeah.
When you get a chance. When you get
somebody asked me about
AWSL.
Oh yeah, what was it?
AWSL is one that somebody wants us to pull up.
Okay, I was gonna go over the choosing strikes and inspirations real quick, but that's fine. I know we got a mixed baggage in here. That's why I'm trying to. Okay. It actually triggered right here. technically, if you played ultra conservative right here, which was still 0.0077 on volume,
Yeah, it's had good volume. It just looks
and
like
10
it's
bags.
big.
I mean, granted, it did have sales signals. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, but
But if you got the hands of steel like some people do, it's 10 bags.
I was gonna say it's got to be 7.6 million floats. So what the person wrote, it's got to be because I mean, fuck, its day range is what .07 to .3.
Yeah.
So it's got a big ass spread on it.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, that's something you'd have to try to get filled on the bid. Or hope if you market order it, you get somewhere in between.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, if you're not playing a ton of size and you want to get risky, put a limit order somewhere in between the bid and the ask. And a lot of times there's somebody else that's not playing huge size on the play, so their order isn't showing up either, and you'll get your shares. Um, when
sometimes the broker will take
yeah, exactly. Like you'd be surprised sometimes. Just even though you might not have enough size to show on a ticker that's trading in this range, because you probably need to have at least 2,500 shares, or I guess that's probably over 10. So here you still need 10,000 shares to show up as a bid. A lot of times there's orders in between there, so you can sometimes go fishing for some bids that are just sitting around and accumulate your total size that you wanted just by picking off some of those.
Yeah, it's a thin one, but I mean, if it gets a continuation by next week, it's on breakout.
Oh yeah, especially with how thin it is, they can make a pretty big move, I'm sure.
It's got room too. But real quick, somebody let's pull just AMD real quick. Let's use like AMD. I said, it's something that I really like. Something I would probably even enter early on. Even before the breakout around here. If you want to move this up to be ultra conservative. I might take. The first thing I would do is I'd say, okay, resistance is at 25. The resistance I see is at 25. It broke the 8 EMA, which is a buy for me. It's got room here. It's starting to get bullish divergence again on the MACD. And then I say, you know what? It's a good pattern. I think I like this bullish. The next thing, pull up the strikes and expirations or the options chain. So what do I think my target's at? Like I said, if I go back, I said, resistance is at 25, so I think it'll retest it, whether it rejects or not. Yeah. So let's say I usually like to go in the middle. So if I pick the 24 strike, which had some, I have to go back and look, but it had some nice volume. Where am I? I'm in March. Let's go back to March 1st. Let's play 2 weeks. Yeah. Because AMD can move, as we all know. The spread's not crazy. Something I look at first is the spread. If you're at like $1 to 212, Ulta's a ticker like that, and there's a few others that could be good plays, but they often have big spreads, so you need to try to fill on the bid. And typically the market makers will take your bid before you do, and if they usually let you fill, it's usually not a good thing because it's going down. But anyway, besides that, I'll look at the spread. So I'll say, okay, there's only a 2-cent spread here. If anything, I'll smack it. I'll slap the ask instead of sitting on bid and worrying about slippage. You're only getting 100 filled instead of 200 filled contracts. That is. So sometimes I'll slap my order through if I see that there's enough shares in ask on a liquid option like this. There typically is. So I won't lie. 7 or 8 out of 10 times, I usually market order right into the ask or the limit right on the ask price to make sure that they don't pull any funky shit and move the ask up a couple cents. And then I execute 79 cents instead of 75. And then they drop it right back down to 75 and you're instantly red, which they have done. So I'll limit order into the ask to make sure that I fully fill instead of sitting on the bid. Not always, but most of the time. And then, I always keep an eye on open interest and volume because that's what's going to get in and out if you can't get in the money. If you get in the money, you're always going to have a bid with you. Because there's always going to be somebody that wants to buy it for a certain price. Now, whether that's above or below your premium depends on, a bunch of different variables. Our earnings, delta, theta, how much time you got left. There's so many different variables. So we're talking about the last trade was at 74 cents for March 1st. Is that 2 weeks out, Matt? Yeah, it's the 17th. So that's 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
Minus a day since we lose Monday. So do I think that we're going to hit $25 plus within that time frame? Yeah, and that's my trade plan. I do think we're going to retest it. So this is something that I would take in the 70 cents range with the hope that within this week that it would either try and reject or break through the 25 range, which I would sell in pieces on the way up, and I'd hopefully be out by the end of this week for a next week expiration. And then I would either look on for the next play or I'd rinse and repeat if it's setting up again. That's been what's working lately instead of the long-term swings. Unless you're going full size, I like to go at least March and April. Being in February right now, obviously those dates would change as you're in different months, but that's how I look at the option change. A good example would be like if these $24 calls were like $1.50, which means you'd have to be $25.50 to even be in the money on it if you're paying $1.50 premium. So you'd have to break through resistance. So unless there's earnings built into that premium or some good reason that is known to you, you have no advantage there. And very, very limited times you will have an advantage. You'll find an imbalance in options, but they are there. Typically, algos will find them first, and they'll act on them, but they are there at times. So, and as you guys know, you don't have to fall in the money. This could run to 24. I'm not in it. It's at 23.72. So it could run to 24.50 on Tuesday. This option. And this option can go from, we're on March 1st, so 2 weeks out. The last traded at 55 cents. So you could double up easily on Tuesday. You could be 100% on Tuesday. You could be 100% on Wednesday if it runs at 24.50, because I'm sure that can trade at $1.10 with 2 weeks out. Obviously, you could do the Scholes model, or you can make it really easy and just pull up an option calculator. But give you an idea that where you're going to sit at what time frame and at what price level. It'll tell you what your option contract value is worth if you don't want to manually figure it out. But that's what I look at, just to make sure that obviously I look at delta, theta, and things like that if I'm taking short-term options. But my main concern is the premium. What am I paying on each premium, and how much does the stock need to move for me to get in the money on it? Those are the two things that I'm working on, or that I look at rather. Sorry. And then after I look at to see if the chart's set up. Right now it broke the 8 EMA, broke it on volume. The stock's crawling up. Vols are crawling up. Everything is going right about the chart right now. It's got a little resistance at 25, which I'd be already green on the position if it hit it within Thursday. I believe I checked before I pulled this up. I think Thursday, Friday, if it hit, I'd be in the money, or not in the money. I'd be green on the position already. And then if it broke through, you got some room on this. 27, 28. We've seen this spike hard, and that's something I look at in the past. Is it look back here after earnings, same thing. Back up a little bit, ran up, came back down, consolidated, boom, took off. Doing a very similar thing. Up, came back down a little bit, consolidated, boom, could take right off. So, and then obviously it depends on the market and how strong the market is, but right now I think that's a still looking chart. That's what I look at as far as options. It's very oversimplified. I have to do a whole option Greek's webinar to go over everything, and we can do that in chat. But since so many people ask me about that, that's my main what I really look at to make sure that I'm getting contracts that are at least fair value. I'm not looking to pay anything higher than I have to, and I'm always looking to pay as cheap as I can on the contracts. Again, you need a trade plan in order to know where that is and you're going to pay out, and you need to have that all written in place before you take the trade. Because if you don't, you're going to botch it. I can almost guarantee you that. If you just buy on the fly because you see somebody else buying or whatever the case may be, I might be in full size and be happy taking 20% when you only bought $100 worth and 20% won't even cover your commissions. So you got to understand different people trade different ways. And that's why I think in our chat we have so many people that trade different ways, that people get an understanding of how those people trade. Then they can replicate it, and then they can create their own type of trader and who they are.
Yeah.
I think the same goes on in your group, Matt.
Yeah. It's not like an alert service. That's what I think people have a hard time with, is because that's what most chats are. Is, you know, there's somebody in charge and they post a stock and everybody buys it. I don't know. Actually, I've never joined one of the other OTC services, but
Right.
we're just here to try to help people figure out what works best for them, and build a trade plan, because without a trade plan, you're not going to be successful. And you might be for a little bit, but eventually it's going to catch up with you, and you have to be able to manage your size and just have a full rounded plan of how to trade your money so that you don't blow up your account.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to our UTR_info page, you can obviously go on there. We have a link to a 7-day free trial that will run through February. It gives you an idea of what we're about. We have nothing to hide. It may fit some people and it may not. It's not for everybody, and we understand that. Some people might like to trade just certain ways or futures, which we're not a huge futures. Some people do trade them, but we're more into verticals and spreads. But on the option side, I can't speak for Matt, but we're gonna start making a big push more towards small caps now, liquid small caps, and continue to OTC. And you got the 7 days, you could try it out. Thinking about possibly making it a little bit longer to give you guys an idea of at least how the trade's playing out. But we can only do so many of those because it is a lot of work, and we have paying members that we need to prioritize. So
yeah.
I don't know. Did you have anything else, Matt?
No, I pretty much covered it.
Let me check real quick. Yeah, that's not bad. I only talked for an hour and 40 minutes. Or we? I just want to make sure I got everybody's DMs. Yeah, the question about the strikes and the expirations, that's something we're gonna have to do in chat, just because it's, as I said, that's a webinar within itself. I went over it very quickly because this is an open webinar, but that's something that I'll have to do probably easily an hour on to get more in depth on it. Now, I don't spend an hour going through each of my trades when I go to pick them, but you'll see as you go through them and as you learn, you'll be able to look at it and almost see right away just by the premium if it makes sense or not, or if it's out of one way or the other. I think that just come with time, but that was all the questions that I had. There's a few other tickers, but I got them under the watch list from members, so. Did you have anything, or is there anything else in the queue, Matt?
No, nope, not that I see.
All right, so I'm fucked. I'm probably gonna pass out. I'm exhausted. It was a fucking long day. I'm losing my voice. But yeah, like I've always said, I've tweeted it. It's something that we're about 100 plus community. We like to keep it family-like almost in a sense, not to sound corny or cliche, but we like to answer everybody's questions. But at the same time, we like to continue to improve the platform, and in doing so, and keeping everything at an efficient level for everybody, uh, you know, we need to constantly evolve, and that's what we're working on for everybody. So, like I said, I think we got a few big announcements people are gonna like coming in the future. You'll hear about them in chat first. So it might take a little bit longer to go on the public feed, but we probably have some partnerships coming up in the future that a lot of people are going to be interested in hearing about. And again, with the small caps, we're going to start to put an emphasis on trading small caps again, just because there are so many swingers with small caps and day traders. And I do trade them so much, it's a shame that I let them go to waste because
they make nice moves. That's the thing. You can easily get a 20-30% move on some nice on
exactly.
dollar volume too. So you can take some size in a lot of them. There's not as much risk taking size in a NASDAQ ticker as there is taking size in obviously an OTC ticker where
and you can get out whenever you want. You don't have to worry about it. You suffer a little bit of volatility, but for some people, that volatility is they're more risk adverse, so they like less volatility. And trading just options and OTC, you're probably trading the two most volatile besides getting into futures and other equity instruments. But out of commons, options, and small caps and OTC, you're definitely trading the most volatile one. So we just want that option for people who want to swing small caps or may have jobs. You can't look all the time. We could send out text alerts. We could send out tweets. We have various different ways of getting the information out that we're looking into. And again, on the option side, we're looking at a partnership that I think will be beneficial for everybody. Just got to work out some details on that, and that will be announced. And then the free trial. Take it out. Ask people in chat. Go in chat. Ask, PM them if you want. You don't have to do it in public. Ask them how they feel about the chat. How long they've been there, what they like, what they don't like, and that's how you do your due diligence. We offer free trials because of that. We want you to see what we're about. We don't want to suck people in for no reason.
Yeah.
It does nobody good. It does us no good, and it does the person signing up no good. They wasted money, and we actually probably spent more money on our end going through the whole process than what we actually collected. So it's really a no-win for nobody to bring in somebody who doesn't want to be with us.
Exactly.
Again, that's it. I think we'll have some more free streams in the future. Probably more specific, not just get fucking wasted and talk bullshit. Or maybe we'll have a few of those.
Yeah, we'll mix those in to keep it light.
But I'm sure we'll fit them in. But in the meantime, UTR_info is where our main account is at, but you can DM us on our personal account, or you can reach us at www.utrequities.com is our website. Again, and that has all your options on there, and it also has the navigation and the link to the free trial, so you can get in right through there. And then I believe that was it, unless you had anything, Matt.
No, I'm good, man.
All right. I'll stop sharing my screen, and I'll talk to all you guys later.
Have a good night.
All right, bye.